If you really take some time to look how people live their life right now, their phone is tethered to them like some sort of like an organ every single part of their day. If it's not in your hand, it's in your pocket, or it's on your desk, or it's beside your bed, or it's under your pillow, it's in your car, it's in your kitchen, it's right up in your face, it's everywhere. It's a part of you. And this goes for everybody. This goes for me included. I'm officially throwing stones in a glass house here because I don't know about you guys, but when I wake up in the morning, or if I wake up in the middle of the night, or if I just wake up at all, the first thing I'm doing is grabbing my phone, looking at my notifications. Like what business do I have at 4 o'clock in the morning if I wake up in the middle of the night to look at notifications? What's waiting for me there? Genuinely, like what could it possibly be if not a phone call or a text? And it's so weird because the phone that we have, the cell phone we have, it's no longer like, oh, I could play these games, or, you know, I could download this social media and like, oh, I can keep up with my friends. Now it's no longer just a device that we use when we need it for something. For a lot of people, and me included, it's become a default state. It's just where we start our day, it's where we spend our day, and it's where we end our day. It's like, it's the closest thing to a relationship we could have with an inanimate object. And I don't know about you guys, I'm 27 years old, I'm about to be 28 in a few weeks, and I remember being a kid. I remember not having a device, not having a phone, not even having like a Nintendo DS or a Game Boy. Like I remember just pure solitude, you know, sitting in a car, staring out the window while my mom drove me places. Like I remember what that solitude looked like. I remember what it felt like. It felt normal. I felt like everything was operating at a much slower frequency. Whereas now I feel like, I don't know, at least with Gen Z, like we are all tweaked out and it's like we're crashing our dopamine system every day and like jolting ourselves awake. You know, at a certain point, you're just weary from it. And I mean, like, dude, like, I don't want to go all hippie on you guys, but I really feel like the human brain is not meant to have all these obstacles coming its way. Like, you know, back in the day with our ancestors, an obstacle was like, oh, you know, I gotta find berries. Oh, I gotta find shelter. Oh, I gotta find this means to an end with a task in front of me. And now if we're scrolling through social media, if we're going through TikTok, or if you're going on Twitter and you're seeing just some of the most reprehensible shit you could possibly think of, our brain reads it the same way. Like, you ever see a video that gave you like such an emotional response that you're like, oh my god, like I gotta put the phone down, like I'm gonna have a cold sweat over here, I'm clamming up. You know, that's essentially the same thing as having a really stressful actual real moment happen to you. You know, it's very likely our brains cannot really tell the difference between that type of stress and actually going through it. So imagine throwing that at your brain dozens of times a day, every single day for years. It's cooked. It's genuinely cooked, man. And I'm not going to sit here and preach to you and be intellectually dishonest and say, all you got to do is get rid of your phone. All you got to do is get off your phone. Like, no. Brass tacks. That's not what this is about. That's not why I wanted to talk about this. I think what is infinitely more valuable, what's going to infinitely give you more tools to actually fix your life, is instead of auditing and then correcting your behavior directly and just saying like, oh, taboo, throw the phone in a drawer, get one of those dumb phones that has no features that are in black and white. Like, no, that's doomer stuff. Like, that's not actually how people fix their life, because I love my phone. I don't care if it's cringe. I don't care if you guys think it's weird. I love my phone. I love using my phone. I get a lot of good positive experiences out of it, but I think it's really important because it's such a powerful device that can be used for good. It can be used for very powerful bad. You need to take a look at your behavior and just be aware of it. Be aware of it. Like identify patterns. If the human brain is good for anything practical, it's for identifying patterns and being able to study them, replicate them, and move forward. Look at your patterns. What causes you to pick up your phone? What are you doing when you pick up your phone? Is every single task actually required to use your phone? Seriously, like there's no wrong answer there, but seriously, like, do you need your phone when you feel awkward and you're shuffling your feet together in public at a party? Do you need your phone when you're sitting in traffic and you're at the red light and it goes green and you don't realize that you're flipping through on TikTok? Do you need your phone in that moment? Do you need your phone to be constantly playing something to your ears every single moment of every single day? Is that actually necessary, or is it something that you've imposed on yourself? And my fear is that we're actually using it as a pacifier, like an adult pacifier, that it's like, oh, like all this stress of my life and all this overthinking, you know, I'm trying to constructively get this thing done in front of me. Let me go ahead and put in the pacifier so at least it brings me to a familiar baseline, or at least it makes me feel something. And truly, I feel like a lot of people actually do know this deep down, and they just don't always know what to do with the information. There's a reflex where something really tiny happens. It could be a pause, it could be a silence, it could be, I don't know, like a slight feeling of maybe boredom or discomfort, and the hand instantly goes down to the phone almost before the mind even gets a vote at the table. And that's when you know a habit has gotten deeply ingrained. I do it myself too. I'm not above it. I'm not above criticism. But that reflex is important. Like, it's important to study it. It's important to take a look at it and really take yourself to task to understand why. Like, what goes into this? If every gap in your day gets filled immediately, you probably really never give yourself your own mind, your own room to breathe. You never really let boredom sit there long enough to actually do anything practical. I think of like the times that I'm most productive thought process wise, it's actually when I'm sitting in complete silence. I mean, like, even the idea to come back to YouTube and make these videos and make these audio commentaries and these, I guess the life advice videos, that was predicated on me just talking to myself silently. If you never sit there long enough to just let the silence stretch out, you never let your thoughts finish forming. You don't give them the vote of confidence. You don't give them the seat at the table. You never let the moment exist on its own without some type of stimulation. And that's not like a moral failure. It's just a sign of how much stimulation people are used to carrying around. It's like we all have a car battery attached to us and just giving us a low grade of voltage throughout our day. But if you want to like ground yourself and stop getting shocked constantly, or at least be more aware of the shocking that's happening, you got to start noticing the reflex before you actually obey it. Even if you do obey it, if you're aware of what's happening, if you know step 1 is you feel uncomfortable, step 2 is you grab your phone and open TikTok, that's a lot better than just mindlessly going through it. Like, that's what most people do. That is what most people do. That is nothing other than the normie lowest common denominator thing to do. But the next time that you guys like go to grab your phone, or like there's something that uncomfortable that's happening, you grab your phone, or if there's some amount of silence, or maybe you don't know what to say, or maybe you're waiting for the light to turn green, or you're at the DMV and you're waiting for your turn to get called, just take a moment, pause. Nobody's taking your phone away. I know I'm not. I'm not trying to go to jail, but think about it. Like, what were you feeling? What were you avoiding in that moment? Is there an unfinished thought process? Is there some type of an emotion that happened earlier in the day? Maybe you should sit there and meditate on it. When's the last time you took a moment to just stare out the window? Remember school? Remember like high school, middle school, elementary school, when you would just zone out and look out the window? I just feel like that's not a thing anymore. I just feel like unless we're like directly driving or doing something that requires looking out the window, heads are just straight down and people are missing out on what's there. And I don't even mean that like in any like cornball way. I'm saying straight up, you are missing out on what's in front of you. And I am too. I've been thinking a lot about this lately because as I'm getting older, I'm approaching 30, I guess, for whatever that's worth. I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to miss out on any of this life. Like, I don't want to miss out on my youth. But also, like, I don't want to sit there and think like, oh, should I open Instagram right now? Should I GPS this? Should I open this app that I need to do this thing? Because like, we do need our phones. They're tethered to us. We're tethered to them. It's not a separation that's realistic. I mean, like, God, like, I have a buddy who, to get into his apartment every single day, has to use an app on his phone to scan in. As dystopian as that sound, that is real. That is absolutely real. So Buddy's not going to be able to put his phone in a drawer unless he wants to sleep on the streets. So as much as a lot of YouTubers in this community are going to say like, oh, it doesn't matter if your phone's broken. Oh, get rid of your phone. These are not real people. These are not real experiences. I don't want to downplay them that hard, but like, genuinely, it's just bad advice. It's just not real. If you're turning your phone off and keeping it at home while you go to work, just not a good move. We could start with, how about you use your brain and think like, oh, should I open this app? Should I do this? And then go from there. You could go from that to deleting apps. And then from there, you could start to build some real willpower, and maybe you just don't even have any type of presence online too. The world is your oyster. But ultimately, like, these things are built in small victories every day. Phones are addicting. It's a requirement for life. It's the same as being addicted to eating food. It's the same as being addicted to, gambling or hell, I mean, like, it's weird to say, but like even like drugs, it's literally like a drug on your brain. So if you are addicted to your phone, if you feel like there's a piece of yourself missing because you're not invested in anything around you, you're normal. A lot of people feel that way. I go through my phases where I feel that way too. The only difference is right now we have the ability to set some short-term goals and turn the corner on this thing. So my goal is going to be, if I don't need to GPS something, I am not going to GPS. I know how to figure out north, south, east, and west. The roads in my area are actually pretty easy to learn. I'm going to only GPS something if I really need to know the time I'm going to get there, like going to work, or if I genuinely have no idea how to get there. That's my step. So right now in the comment section, guys, let me know what is going to be your goal, or are you addicted to your phone? If you are, what are you addicted to, and what are we going to do to fix that? All right, other than that, guys, I do have a Discord if you guys want to join it. It's a community of a lot of self-improvement oriented individuals. We have over 100 members in there. Good conversations happening, good camaraderie. So come be a part of the community if you want. I'll post it up in there all the time having conversations. So it's just another way to connect. That's really fun. But other than that, guys, that's my time. Hope you have a good day.